Hey, Nathan here, helping you become a better jungler. I have a challenger career review for you. This is SANDBOX OnFleek, current LCK jungler for obviously SANDBOX Gaming. Wanted to show you this game in particular for two reasons. One being this is actually the first Nocturne video I've done on my channel. And number two, I think this is such a perfect example by OnFleek of how to play this champion Nocturne incredibly effectively. He picks his fights really well with his R, plays pretty patiently, knows when to concede objectives, and the best thing about it, and this is the style that I love seeing in League of Legends, is just not doing anything fancy in the jungle. Like, he's just playing smart League of Legends, not taking unnecessary risks, and ends up carrying this game with like an 11-1 score like by the end of it. So let's jump into OnFleek's runes here. Also to note, he does have the legendary Faker on his team with Mordekaiser. So he's going lethal tempo, which is, I would say, pretty standard, and I think what you should go on Nocturne. Lethal tempo is really good for auto attack reliant champions, and you're going to be going in with your ultimate, do all your damage, and you're either going to die or survive with, let's say, stopwatch or a GA, and Triumph. That's why you want to really take Triumph here. So he goes Legend Alacrity here for the attack speed. Can potentially go Tenacity, but I would really like to go Alacrity again, just to get that attack speed, get those lethal tempo, auto attacks off. And I mean, he's not into too much CC here. Like, there is the Galio, Jin, I guess, Nunu, but it's not very hard CC comp, and this is where I'll definitely be taking Alacrity and Coup de Grace just to get that extra damage, burst damage when they're lower on health. And then he goes Perfect Timing and Cosmic Insight in the second tree. I really like this because Perfect Timing, a stopwatch is so good for Nocturne. Again, that whole mindset of you're going in and you're either going to survive or die. And with your stopwatch, you have that, and then you can get GA later, which is such a core item. And OnFleek actually builds that like literally like first item after Warrior, which I thought was pretty interesting, and definitely makes sense again with that playstyle of Nocturne. Cosmic Insight just for that extra CDR on items, and also his abilities and stuff. And then he goes double adaptive armor, and the interesting thing here is that he goes two adaptives, like instead of an attack speed, just for that extra jungle clear potentially, but he just wants to go for like max damage, get on them with an ult, just try and do as much damage as possible in a little time. Like, attack speed's not going to really help you that much. So that's the explanation of his runes there. Now let's jump into the review. So here's against a Graves jungle. We have Pantheon into a Rise. Rise is awesome for Nocturne to gank. Obviously, he really only has like one tool to escape, which is his ultimate, which you can easily cancel with Nocturne Fear. And Pantheon's really good to gank early and get ahead, utilizing his W. We have, again, Faker on the Mordekaiser into a Nunu. This was really interesting. So I see Predator Nunus pop up in mid a little bit in solo queue. And the idea of this guy, he just pushes mid out and just ganks. He like literally doesn't even worry about farming. Just wants to get the minions as fast as possible and just constant roaming. So it's actually pretty potentially scary for your ults. You need to be thinking where Nunu is to counter gank. And we have a Misfortune Rakan versus Jin Galio. Definitely want to potentially get Misfortune ahead early, like she's a lane bully at the end of the day, but we do have a Rakan who probably isn't going to do much till level 6, but I would really be wanting to focus topside. Bot maybe can gank, but yes, again, you need to be thinking of Nunu. That's the biggest thing here. So the other thing as well is that Nocturne's really weak pre-6, so you really do need to concede a lot. I mean, he's not really weak, but like, he's just not as effective as, like, you can like fight people in skirmish, but he's versing a Graves right here who can kite him pretty easily. The Graves is actually going phase rush as well, so you'll be able to kite Nocturne really well, and you just really want to get to level 6 ASAP. So we actually have a pretty bad start here. They've invaded. Fortunately, OnFleek did drop a ward here, so he knows that they're running away from the jungle, but he's burnt Flash and needs to base now, so sort of bit of on the back foot here. Decides to switch out to Sweeper Trinket here. Some more fighting happening top lane. Looks like OnFleek just wants to start red. Alright, so it looks like the team's not going to be invading because they're obviously top side. Misfortune helps on the leash here. Alright, so I assume that OnFleek's just going to do a pretty standard jungle path. So he's doing his Raptors here. So even though I talk a lot about doing Raptors with Machete and how it's not optimal, on Nocturne is like the few Machete junglers that it's really actually good to do Raptors because of his passive that, you know, does the AoE and heals. Like, look how fast he gets that. He actually smites the Raptor camp there to note. So that's fine. He's still staying healthy. He hasn't popped a single potion yet. Goes to do blue buff. On to Gromp. So we do see Graves here now. Just some information for OnFleek. Well, the whole team knows that Graves there. So Graves, the good thing about Graves is you don't really have to worry about his because his ganks are pretty weak early. Like he doesn't really have much CC or damage yet. So it's actually, I think this is a good matchup for Nocturne if you're like just not taking fights with him. So we're going here, like he knows that Graves probably isn't going to be here because he just was top clearing Raptors. He wants to probably go bot side to clear his jungle now. Alright, so is top gankable? Not really. Like Pantheon's pretty low health. The wave's not in the hottest position right now. He could potentially wait, like this is eventually going to push back. But I think that it's a smart move just to be efficient here and base, like Pantheon's base in anyway. So Graves shows up bot for a gank. OnFleek's going to his Krugs, wants to try and get into level 6 as quick as possible. But actually decides here to soak up some experience and gold. So actually, whenever you can do this on Nocturne's really good. Because again, your mindset is I want to get to level 6 as fast as possible. So I can start impacting the map. And being effective on my champion. So he's also gone red smart this game instead of blue smart. I do really like red smart on Nocturne as well. Because again, Nocturne doesn't have a problem with getting on enemy champions. Because he has his ultimate ability. Blue smart's more if you like want to play that champion that like, you know, you need to get on them, like let's say a Skarner or like a Sejuani or something like that. It also depends as well if you're versing a really squishy comp, and like I guess he is got like a little, like Galley's pretty tanky, Graves is like sort of beefy, Nunu's potentially going to build tank. I'm actually not sure what the Nunu mid build goes, but anyway, red smart's good here. So he's done Krugs here, he's done his Raptor camp. Places a war, so he actually switched back from red to yellow trinket just to protect his team. Like he obviously doesn't really want to like red trinket's more for like river control and stuff like that. Like he's obviously just wants to get information and not actually control river. Alright, so it looks like there's fight spot. Nunu continually is roaming right here, pushing Faker in. Probably not going to be able to help here. Misfortune looks like she's going to suicide. Alright, not much OnFleek can do here, just needs to back off. Alright, decides to base instead of walking all the way here. I really like this as well. He's basing on 500 gold. It's much more efficient for him to get a longsword or something like that. Come here and then do his camps versus walking all the way here. Like even though he's full health, it's just way more better to just spend your gold, get a control ward as well. He switches out to sweeper again, so he's constantly going back and forth between these utilizing the cooldown on his warding totem to be like, hey, I'm just going to switch to my, you know, the red sweeper trinket now. So top Rift Scuttler is spawned. Definitely pretty good to get right now. Pretty easy to get. I mean, he does have mid and top priority. And Nunu's just putting out insane pressure. He's just ganking through lanes and everything like that. So it's actually a pretty good strategy, I think. So Pantheon gets the stun. Oh, so Nunu actually avoids that and actually survives. So that sort of sucks. OnFleek sort of wasted his flash on that. But, I mean, definitely not a waste. Like, he sort of was really lucky there, that Nunu, to be honest. Alright, so we're going on top Rift Scuttler now. His red buff has spawned. And he is level 6 now. So he can suddenly start doing some good stuff. Alright, so he actually decides to go for red buff right now. Okay, Graves is bot, so this is pretty free. Can potentially take all his jungle here. Bot's definitely having a hard time. So at this point, bot is literally like a lost cause. You have like a 1 in 5 bot lane. Misfortune is going to be really useless. She doesn't scale well at all. Really want to be looking to gank this top here, I think. Alright, OnFleek channels a base. I think maybe he's thinking to potentially help bot, but there's like he's already lost dragon. Like there's no way that he's going to do much bot. So I really like him going here. Alright, he actually Rise shows up looking to walk to lane and is definitely going to get the kill here. Rise doesn't have ult, no flash. Uses his ult to finish him off. So this is actually really good. He's going to lose a bunch of minions for that, and Pantheon's going to get pretty far ahead. So Misfortune actually ditches bot lane to come help this fight for some reason. They kill Nunu, push out Graves. Good decision, take Rift Herald here. Definitely going to need to get some objectives here, and Rift Herald's really good to potentially maybe break open the map, since considering that, you know, their bot lane's not doing too well. But Faker's actually doing really well to... Like, Faker can't really do anything. Like, he's not going to be able to match the roams without his TP very well from Nunu. So he's literally just be like, hey, I'm just going to literally just out farm this Nunu. He's literally got 26 CS right now. So he's just going for constant ganks, which is pretty funny strat. Alright, so OnFleek gets his Rift Herald. He has the entire jungle out right now. So I'll definitely be looking to farm that, get off the map, constantly trying to get levels and start scaling. Doesn't have ultimate, so I really wouldn't be looking at top gank right now. I think it's really important for OnFleek to just, but I'd say right now, OnFleek maybe should just clear, like either base here, clear, base and go help bot. You potentially could counter gank bot maybe with his ultimate, but I would again be looking just to keep killing the Rise. Alright, so Rise is actually in a potential good position to gank. But there is a pink ward there, so I think he was seen, so he just decides to base there. Bot's still really suffering here. Faker's unfortunately just died, giving away a bit of a shutdown. Alright, but Pantheon's looking to actually TP on here, utilize Nocturne. OnFleek has his ult now. Graves actually shows up here as well. Alright, so now he's outnumbered 1v3. There's not much he can do, just takes the golden experience. I actually sees Graves on an ult here, uses his ult, so he sees him on a ward. Graves probably didn't think they knew that he was there, so pretty greedy back from Graves, but OnFleek capitalizes on it well, and now is instantly thinking, I know the enemy bot lane's based, I've just killed Graves, let's pressure this tower. Can they potentially get it? I'm not sure, I don't think so. Like, their bot lane will be back pretty soon, I would assume. If we get their vision, yeah, they'll probably be bottom time. Alright, they do try and commit to this tower, but enemy bot comes back. Not going to be able to get it. So let's get back on Fleek's vision here. Alright, so Dragon is up here. The enemy bot lane is back with items and stuff. Like, I think that they're definitely weaker in 3v3. OnFleek doesn't have ult anymore. I think it's pretty risky. So decides to actually come up here. Maybe look for a potential pick. Graves actually shows up here. This is really good from... OnFleek here, if he can start a fight with an E and take the Graves by surprise, it would be really good. But the thing is, he's not going to take the Graves by surprise because he has Red Sweeper right now, so he'll be able to see the Graves will be able to see the shadow of Nocturne in River, so he just backs out and there's nothing OnFleek can do there. So we actually might lose Dragon for this. Bot doesn't really have priority. They don't have River control. Pantheon does come actually down for this. OnFleek doesn't have ult, so I really don't think there's much they can do here. Just looks like they just kill the Galio potentially. Alright, still okay. Pretty even in gold right now. It is 7 to 8, 12 minutes in. OnFleek's just done really well to just farm up. He has 93 CS at 12 minutes right now. He's been really efficient this game, clearing jungle camps. Having that in mind, like, I just can only do stuff with my ultimate. Everything else, I just want to be farming. That's the mindset you need to have on Nocturne. Picking your fights really well. Alright, so he does have ult back up now. Decides to go. Remember, Galio's dead. He's going to be in base a little bit. He's going to be walking back here. He's not going to be able to help this Jhin, so decides to utilize the bot wave here as well to dive the isolated Jhin. Misfortune tanks the tower. And OnFleek gets the kill on Jhin there. Unfortunately, the roaming Nunu has showed up here on Galio. Burn stopwatch here. I think OnFleek just should have died. I think it's a big waste there. Alright, he's really committed to trying to get away here. Graves is mid. Maybe can get away potentially. Alright, yeah, Nunu just has too much sticking power, so dies. So I think that's actually a really big waste from OnFleek. I think he should have just died there. lost his stopwatch. They already got like the tower and everything like that. That's awesome. Just die, get back on the map as fast as possible, because now he's going to have 30 seconds to doing nothing when he instead could have died and been like potentially back on the map for a, let's say, to just clear his jungle camps and look for a, you know, top gank on Rise or something like that. Because right now, like, it's really good. Even though their bot was losing through that Rift Herald, they broke it. So now this is a potential condition where their bot lane can now swap to top and start pressuring top tower as like the next objective. Dragon's not up, so that's what you want to be doing now. So Graves actually kills the Rakan, still waiting for OnFleek to come out of base. So he's actually building BF sword here, gets a long sword, so he has his warrior finish and stuff. So I think he's trying to get like, I'm a bit confused about this longsword buy. Like, is he trying to finish the GA first? Like, I'm trying to figure out what he is building with BF sword. He actually has gone CDR boots as well. He has 25% CDR with Cosmic Insight as well. So just trying to get as much cooldown reduction on his ultimate. Just keep using that like off cooldown. So it comes up here just to clear his jungle camps. Alright, actually interesting to note as well, he's switched to... No, he hasn't. I thought that... Okay. Oh, no, he has. So he actually has switched to his the blue trinket. And I really like this, and you want to definitely do this around this stage of the game, is because blue trinket works so well with Nocturne. Like, sometimes when you play Nocturne, you use your ult, and then they actually get out of vision. And then you, like, stuff it up, and you can't ult. And it's just the worst thing possible to happen to Nocturne. So OnFleek takes this, the blue trinket, so then he can... if he loses vision, like, he can just... vision onto them, and then he can get his ult off. Like, it really helps, again, make his ultimate like literally like zero counterplay. So I really like that from OnFleek there. Decides to just do his red buff. He does have Rift Herald spawning soon, but actually it looks like they're going to concede it. He's just trying to hover Pantheon, which I think is the right move. Like, Pantheon is definitely strong in the split push. Just takes this Rift Scuttler. Like, Rise eventually should show on this wave, and Nocturne OnFleek can go for an ult. So literally just right now, he has his ult, he's just waiting for it. There's nothing for him to do here. He's conceded Rift Herald because I didn't have river control or mid priority, and it's just waiting for an ult, basically. Alright, so Rise actually shows up here, but they're looking for maybe a dive with Pantheon and Nocturne. I really actually like the combo with Pantheon Nocturne as well. Graves actually decided not to do Rift Herald, so it looks like OnFleek potentially is going to get this second Rift Herald. But there actually is 4 of the enemy team here, so Faker potentially needs to come and help these guys. Alright, so Pantheon's roaming up for a potential team fight. Rise is TP in as well. Alright, OnFleek is using his ult. Alright, I really like this. He's being patient here. He actually uses his ult. You can do this as well around objectives just to secure them. He uses his ult purely for vision denial and to scare off the enemy team a bit. They go into this choke point. He decides not to engage because he will literally just die here if he engages. He doesn't have stopwatch anymore. He doesn't have GA. Use ult, get Rift Herald. That's the smart move here. No reason to take any risks. Take the objective and back off. Alright, so it looks like they're potentially looking to re-engage with Faker's Mordekaiser ultimate. They're just standing on the Nunu. Get the kill on him there. OnFleek's pretty low now. Potentially just needs to back off. Heals up with his Triumph a little bit. And just decides to base. So he bases right now, buys GA. So again, notice he's literally buying this like first, second item. You know, well, second item technically after Warrior. So he actually did build GA there super early. That's really good. So he sells his refillable potion now for Control Ward, which is really good. Unfortunately, can only buy 1. He only has 15 gold left, but I do really like to buy 2 Control Wards, especially since the fact that Dragon is up, and you know that's a pretty big objective. That's potentially the enemy's 3rd Dragon. I actually don't think they can contest this because there's like 3 of the enemy teams dead right now. Yeah, they're just going to need to give that. He has no priority of lanes. Alright, so continue farming from OnFleek, just trying to be efficient. The Graves is actually doing pretty well this game as well. He has, you know, 715 and 129 CS. But that's fine. Graves can do more in small skirmishes, and Nocturne has, again, that one big ult. Alright, so now he's hovering topside just to protect his Mordekaiser, let this tower get it for free. He actually pushes out Nunu, but the enemy team's all mid, so this is pretty safe right now to counter jungle. Like right now, like I'd really just be looking to just help sides as much as possible. That OnFleek's doing a really good job here. Let Mordekaiser split out, push out top, let him keep getting, because remember, the fact that this Nunu is literally just gone all in for like ganks, like eventually Mordekaiser's just going to absolutely outscale him to the point of like no return for the enemy team, where like it's literally like a 4v5 because Nunu's like so useless. So again, there's no reason to be fighting at all here. I like that he's just sitting in side lanes. Uses his Rift Herald here because enemy team, his bot, wants to do something on the side of the map, and they'll actually get this tower way quicker than they do, and he actually forces Graves to base because they need to defend this because they could potentially get a inhibitor here, and they back off here, which I think is the right move again because Graves, they saw him base, and to potentially maybe help mid here defend this tower. If they actually don't break mid off that, that's really, really good for OnFleek's team. Alright, so uses ult bot on the isolated rise, just gets a pretty easy kill there, still has his GA up. Still has his blue trinket. Alright, so farming, he doesn't have ult anymore to engage. Pantheon's a split in bot. Alright, looking to base on 950 gold. Gets a control ward, gets a Kindle gem. Alright, going bot now just to come clear his camps. Nunu's chucking a snowball mid again. Alright, so Rise is here with ultimate. I really like that they didn't go on this. Yes, you could say like they could potentially come in here and like one-shot him, but they don't have mid priority right now. And they just saw there's missing pings going mid. They actually saw them mid. They're actually rotating down to this jungle right now. So I think that is really smart. And again, this is picking the right fights. Like technically they could have killed Rise there, but he could potentially lost his J and even potentially maybe lost Baron, you know, off that. If they like went off that, died, you know, they did Baron, or they could have literally just rushed Baron, being bot. So the enemy team is now controlling bot side. Clears, uses control ward just to clear some aggressive vision by the enemy team. Alright, has ultimate here. Pantheon's coming in with an ult. Look at this here. This is how you want to play Nocturne. Just sitting back patiently, not going to be, you know, up here doing nothing. Wants to be out of vision, get a really good ult, and follow up on the Pantheon. So I think this is the ideal. They get on Graves, chain CC him, get the kill. OnFleek actually flushes out. Looks like he doesn't want to pop his GA. Jhin is still alive here, so there's actually potential some threat here. Alright, potentially needs to just stop the chase here. They don't have mid tower. Misfortune dies. Alright, well they actually can't just get Baron now. And they actually might need to concede another dragon off this. Like this is actually pretty bad, and Pantheon dies. So they've actually given away 3 dragons at this stage. They're going to lose dragon here. OnFleek just decides I'm going to clear my jungle camps topside. Nothing else for me to really do. Krugs are spawning soon. Looking to base. How much gold? On 1800 gold. Can potentially get Black Cleaver now. I'm assuming, yes, that's definitely what he's built in. Black Cleaver. He gets 2 longswords. I would be getting 2 control wards instead of like 1 longsword, 2 control wards. I think it's really important. Yes, he does have 1 on the map right now, but Baron's suddenly become a really important objective on the map right now. Definitely need that just to be like defending jungle vision and stuff like that. So then the enemy team's just not being able to do a free Baron. So OnFleek's ult's back up. He's looking for a potential ult mid, but Mordekaiser's not there. Who's like, I'd say their strongest member right now. I wouldn't be fighting without Mordekaiser at all. And Pantheon, I mean, Pantheon's not actually like that strong at this stage. Like he's still like 60 CS down. Doesn't have a Black Cleaver yet. There's just no way that they can just fight that. I mean, Pantheon doesn't even have ult, so Sitting here just defending mid. They are like behind in gold, like about 1,000 gold right now. But again, notice like OnFleek's 6-1 right now. He's just played, hasn't done anything fancy. Just used his ult off cooldown. That's really all he's done this game, and cleared, farmed really efficiently. So enemy team's on Baron now. Fight breaking out. Mordekaiser has altered the enemy Jhin. There's nothing really he can do. OnFleek uses his ult, waits for the right opportunity, goes on Graves. Alright, looks like they clean up here, and I'd say that's Baron. Alright, so really good team fight from OnFleek and his team there. Gonna take the Baron buff. So the scary thing about this is the enemy team has 3 dragons right now. Definitely don't want to be giving them 4 dragons. It is the Infernal map, so they will be doing like, you know, a bit of damage with that. Alright, so decides to clear his jungle camps here. Mid tower is definitely still an objective they need to get. I'll be getting this first. Gets blue, gets Gromp, goes back to base. Buys a Serrated Dirk and Warhammer. Doesn't feel like he needs control wards, which I think is fine. Like, the rule of thumb with control wards is if the item's like more than like 800 gold, I think it's better to just buy that item instead of control wards, because those items will obviously give him a lot more damage in these fights. So mid team's pretty aggressive here. Galio's come here to ward all this up, using the opportunity of, you know, OnFleek's team base in. So they need to go clear this here. Pretty good by Galio. There's a lot of vision right now in their jungle. Alright, so Mordekaiser actually catches out the Galio with his ult. Potential team fight breaking out here. Pantheon is top. He does have TP. They get the kill on Galio with Mordekaiser ult. Alright, great. We can get a pretty free siege here. Pantheon's pressuring top. We can break this tower. The Galio's dead. It's now 5v4, and they do have Baron. So mid gets broken, and the enemy team's actually all committing their resources to killing Pantheon top. So gonna get tier 2 here, but Galio is spawning soon, so I think they just need to back off. Mordekaiser's not there. They can't get an inhib from that, unfortunately. Pantheon's died. Alright, bases here. He's still got his blue trinket. Actually, did he swap to that? Oh, no, I think he's actually just stayed on blue trinket this whole time. Alright, he has Duskblade now. I really like this build from OnFleek, and he buys 2 control wards now with his leftover gold and his last item slot. Clears again. What's he buying now? Okay, so he actually sells his boots for Ninja Tabis, which is really interesting. He obviously feels that Jhin and Graves are starting to do a bit of damage now. I mean, they're really the only damage they have. I mean, like, Rise is literally built like Quicksilver Sash right now because he's like scared of the CC from Nocturne, Rakan, and Pantheon. So he's not actually going to have much magic damage. But no, he does switch to... Then he switches back to Mercs. Huh. So maybe he just wants tenacity in this game for the CC. He doesn't want to get altered by Galio. I mean, W'd by Galio. Alright, so again, waits patiently. Waits for Pantheon to engage. Kills Jhin. Does get his GA pop, but this is the advantage of Nocturne. He can just sit there, waste a bunch of the enemy team's time. Unfortunately, they don't have Baron anymore. Okay, this is actually Elder Dragon now. Okay, so actually the enemy team has 4 dragons, and now Elder has spawned. So this is great for them. They literally didn't get a single dragon this game. They come here, win a team fight, and get Elder Dragon, which is super busted. So the Nunu's trying to potentially get this. Graves is looking for a smite, and they die for this and get Elder Dragon. So look, game's looking really good now for OnFleek and his team. Goes back to base, buys, he has 1100 gold now. Buys another Serrated Dirk. Alright, looking to go mid. Top tower has gone here, so this inhibitor is open. Alright, decides just to ult, get a pick on this Galio, which is really good. They have Elder Dragon as well. I mean, these guys will literally just win out a flat-out team fight, but unfortunately, OnFleek doesn't have ult anymore, so he's sort of a little bit less effective. Mordekaiser kills the Nunu. OnFleek comes up to finish off the Rise. Alright, potentially they can just siege and end the game here. There's 3 of the enemy team dead. Gallo is spawning soon. Alright, they're getting hib off that. Pantheon's engaging on the Jhin. Alright, enemy team's probably spawning soon here, so needs to back off. Mordekaiser and Pantheon base in, so OnFleek just decides, hey, I'm going to go take their jungle. Takes their Raptor camp, gives red to Misfortune. Oh wow, okay, so maybe actually a little greedy there. He wasn't looking, did he see them on wards or anything? So he sees Nunu here. Alright, but he actually doesn't see, like, he didn't see these guys come. They actually went through mid lane. And that took off OnFleek off by Gar and actually just dies for that. So, sort of a bit of map awareness there, just not calculating spawn times and accounting for them running through mid. But they return, get a bunch of kills here. 2 inhibs are down. Potentially can end here. Oh yeah, they end up killing 4. And this is probably GG with inhibs. Alright, so OnFleek finishes this game 11-2. Really good game from there. You know, really good kill participation. And I hope that you can potentially learn a lot from this game, how to play Nocturne effectively. Looking at builds, obviously, his runes, I think they were really good. And again, overall, just really solid game. I think it's a really good example of a good Nocturne, what a good Nocturne game looks like. So, potentially a champion you can maybe pick up. I think I do recommend it for junglers. In the current meta, I wouldn't say he's like S tier or anything like that, but he's always been a solid jungle pick, especially for solo queue, because you can't really punish him as well without team communication, get into level 6 as quick as possible. So thanks for watching. You can check out my notes for this review over on my blog, nathanmott.gg, and I'll see you guys in my next video.